Hi parents, this is Ms. Gutierrez. I wanted to send out a video that now that we are in quarter two, that I've gotten the feel for your child, their ability level, their talents, their positives, and a little bit of like their negatives, right? Another great thing of the timing of this video is that since we are starting quarter two, any mistakes, any problems that we were having during quarter one, they're in the past. Okay, so quarter two, I don't normally reset grades, but because it's understandably everybody's having difficulties with technology and adjusting to things, and a lot of students whose parents work while they're in school. So I said, okay, we can all learn from this, us as teachers, you yes as parents, and the students themselves. And I have seen some positive change in attitude and in the amount of effort that students are putting in. So let's forget about the quarter one or the past, and let's focus on the present and the future. Quarter two, new grades for everybody. So your child starts off with a blank grade, and then they start doing the work. Grades shoots up to an A, or it can really drop really fast down to the F's if they're not doing the work. So in part two of the video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 problems that I saw with students that have low grades, and I have a solution for every single problem. And then in this part one of the video, I just want to go over how you as a parent can tell your child to show you their grades, right? I know that this is confusing, and I'm not asking you to log in and find the information. I want to ask you to ask your child, okay, log into Google Classroom and show me your grades. And this is what it's going to look like. So when the student logs into Google Classroom, this is what they can see. All of the classes that they are signed up for, even maybe some older ones from elementary school, they will be able to see it. Another thing I wanted to show you is that there are 3 different tutoring classes for your child. So if your child works better with the tutors, right? They're college students that they are familiar with. If they want to work with them, they can sign in after school to the tutoring. If they want to work with Miss Meeks because they have a question about math or science, they sign in with her, or with me Monday through Friday after school, right? So the students already know this, but not a lot of them are taking advantage of it. We're always there. Sometimes we log out if nobody's there. We log out, but we're there usually for an hour after school. If you need a different time, let us know, and at least I'll be able to accommodate. Okay, so your grade, their grades. A tutoring don't have any grades. There's no assignments for the tutoring class. But let's try period one. You don't need to sign into the actual class. What students need to do is click on this little icon, and you can see every class has that icon. So once you click on it, I'm gonna go. You can see at the top. I don't really want to show it because I don't want to show the students' names. But at the very top, it's gonna have the student name and their current grade in the class. So up to date, what is their grade in the class? Adding everything up. Now, at the bottom, or you will have a detailed list of every single assignment that we've ever had during the class. And to the right side, we have the grade or the number grade that they got for every single grade. Now, like I said, we are going to forget anything from quarter one. So I am behind on grading. Grading takes too long. So I am grading, even though quarter one ended after week 9, I'm still counting week 8 as part of quarter two. So anything from October 5th or after counts for quarter two. So if a student was missing, let's say this student was missing this or got 3 out of 5, and she wanted to make it up, I would even tell her, don't do it. It's not going to make a difference in your new grade. She can do it to learn, to get the experience. Maybe even I'll give her extra credit. But it's not going to make a difference in the current grades. So let's just focus on October 5th and up above. So from here, this is what the child got, right? 4 out of 4, 4 out of 4. Turned in means some stuff doesn't have a grade. It's just things that I needed them to see or to get done, but not for a grade. So turned in means she did it. She turned it in. 10 out of 10, 2 out of 12. Ooh, low grade. Another thing that you can see is on any assignment that has this little icon that looks like a text box, if you click on it, you will see a teacher comment. So that's 2 out of 12 is a pretty low grade. When I realize that a student needs help, I usually write a comment that the students can see. So if they click on here, it's like, okay, look at this, look at this. The comment has a suggestion on how to fix it. If that doesn't help, then come to tutoring. But most of the time, the comment usually clears up when I notice a student what I notice that the student is confused about. Okay, so you can see that a lot of things have comments. Sometimes it's even a short comment just to say missing. Something we do every day that I'm having trouble with. I have 28 students and only 8 students do this every day. Well, between 8 and 12. Every day we do an agenda. It's just it looks like this, right? So students have to show me during class. They hold up their paper to the screen where I make sure that they copied this. Basically, what are we doing that day for that period? And this is something really, really important for me that the students complete because one, it keeps them accountable. Two, it helps them at home to know what they need to what they didn't finish during class, so that is their homework. And number three, it helps them. These are all of our students are avid students. Avid students need to learn, especially to be organized, to find ways to keep track of all of their responsibilities. So every day, the students, I give them 4 minutes to copy this into a notebook and to show me on the screen. The students who show me, I give them 4 points, 4 out of 4. The students who don't show me have an opportunity to make it up. What they do is they take a picture of it after class and they have to paste it in here. It's loading. But it's easy. You just the directions on what to do are here. Take a picture of it, put it here so I can see that you did it, and that's it. You get 4 points. And I have more than half of the class who doesn't do this very simple task. So it's pretty that one is pretty frustrating because it's easy, quick, could be done during class, and students are not doing it. And then if you ask them, well, what did you do today? Or what were you supposed to do today? They can't tell you because they didn't write it down. By the way, this is always accessible. In the copy of the assignment, the copy is always there for them to see it. So if they were absent, it doesn't matter. I give them the copy of the agenda. They just have to look for the date and the period that they don't have, and they just copy it. Okay, so too much information about the agendas. Let's go back to the grades. So the thing that I wanted to say is if the student has a 0, that means they didn't do it at all. Okay, the only reason why I give a 0 is because the student didn't do anything. Even if students get everything wrong, even if all they do is write their name or the first word, or if they do anything, I don't give them a 0 so that you know that if there's a 0, it means they didn't do it. So the student turned it in but didn't do it, so they got a 0. Or missing, that means the student didn't turn it in, right? Maybe the student even did it, but since they didn't turn it in, the computer doesn't tell me that they turned it in. And so I don't grade it since I have so many other things to grade. I only grade the things that students actually say, here, I'm done, right? So that's what I wanted you to know. They could do this for all of their periods, assignments, their grade. If you see zeros, they didn't do it. If you say missing, they didn't turn it in. And then for my class, if I had one wish, it would be that every student did their agenda and was honest about it and used it after class or after school to see, yes, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. Oh, wait, I didn't finish this last thing. Let me go and finish it and turn it in, right? And then when they actually finish it, they cross it off. This would be a really great system if all the students actually did it. Okay, I'm done with this part one of the video. And in the next video, like I said, I'm going to talk about the top 5 problems. You know what? I'm just going to make the video longer since I have your attention already. Okay, so let's go. The top 5 problems that I see in my students. Problem number 1. Why is it saying that? I don't know. Hopefully it's still recording. I don't know why that one is there. Problem number 1, students who don't log into class. Number 1 reason why students fail, right? Solutions. Sometimes they're still asleep. So solution, go to sleep earlier, put an alarm, and look at the schedule. I have students who try to log into class and they send me messages, it's not letting me in. What's happening is that, let's say today was Wednesday. Wednesday at 8:40, we do period 2. So if a student doesn't have this written down, the schedule, or doesn't have it printed somewhere, they might try to log in. They're like, oh, well, at 8:40, that's when I have to go to period 1. So if they log into the wrong period, it doesn't let them in. If at 8 from 8:40 to 10, the only period that they can log into is period 2. whatever is their period two. So eh, I'm sending and I'm texting you and emailing you this. Have it available for the students. They can copy it in a notebook. You can print it if you have a printer. But so number one thing why students are absent. Either they don't get up or they try to log into the wrong class at the wrong time. Solution: going to sleep, putting an alarm, having an adult wake them up and tell them come on, and then having the schedule so you can know um, where it is. Problem number two: completely understandable. Trouble with the computers not working or with the internet signal, right? With the winds, electricity, and no matter what, it's completely understandable that you're having troubles with that. Number one, message the teacher. But if we're in the middle of class, we can't really help that much. So that's, but at least if a parent messages us, then we won't mark your student absent. They'll get credit for it as if they came to class. That doesn't mean they actually learned or that they get credit for the assignments, but at least we don't mark them absent. Now here's the person that is actually their job to help you with any time that you have technology issues, and that is Miss Parker. She works at our school, and she's our technology person, right? So here's her phone number. I actually need to add the extension. She has an extension. So, or if you call the school and you ask to be transferred to Miss Parker, she'll help you. That's our technology person. Okay. Problem number three: there's two things that students are confused about. Let's deal with number one first. Problem three is that student doesn't know what they need to do, right? So especially this is the problem for the students who don't log into class or who don't pay attention. I have students that I know they log in, but then they leave. They're not in the room. So solution number one is to actually be there. You have to be in class. But if you can't be there for whatever reason, and we said that that's fine sometimes, right? Um, then I showed you earlier in the video that every student by now should know how to look for the agenda of the day. So step number one: you were absent for period two today. Find today's date, find the agenda for period two, and then copy it, write it down. That tells you what you need to do today and what is due today. Okay, if it's there, that means it's going to be due today. That means we did it during class. I don't give homework. Homework is only to finish whatever we don't finish during class. And most of the students who pay attention finish during class. If I notice that everybody had problems, then I say, you know what, guys, cross it out. It's not actually due today. So I try to be like really fair and understanding about that. But if it's there, that means it's due that same day. And then if the students actually click on the Google Classroom, let me go over here. There, for every one of my classes, there is a section called Today's To Do. In Today's To Do, it tells you what they needed to get done for today. I know this seems like a lot, but this is was we were just putting the finishing touches on things. So most of these were things that we started last week, and then this one was the one thing that we started today, right? So if it's on here on today's to-do list, or if it has a due date that says today or in the past, that's what they know they need to do. So what they need to do is they need to open it, start on it, and here comes the next problem. Well, if a student is absent or wasn't paying attention, or even if they were, some stuff might be difficult. So the next problem that students have is that they're confused. They know what to do, what assignment to do, but they need help with it. So easiest solution, and this is the one that us as teachers are actually, we are there to help you. For the other stuff, it's like, well, even if we wanted to wake you up and make sure you log in, we can't. Even if we wanted you to pay attention, we can't make you, right? All the other stuff is like student responsibility, parent or family responsibility. But for problem number three and four, and just for the teaching, I know that that's our responsibility. I want to help you, but same thing. If you don't ask for help, if I call on your child and I tell them you're not doing anything and they don't respond, can't do much than that. And I can't make them sign in after school for help. But this is what any student who tells us that they want to try, this is what they need to do. And then I will do the hard work of helping them one by one, asking, what do you need? Show me your computer. I can look at it from here. Trust me, I want to help. But I need the students to seek the help or to be willing to receive the help. Sometimes I call on a student. I realize that they haven't done anything in their file, and I don't get a response. So there is nothing I can do besides say that I'm available and message them and tell them you're missing this, you're missing this, you're missing this, right? Okay. So, again, and if you need help, all of your teachers are available. Ms. Meeks has tutoring after school. I have tutoring after school. I showed you the where to log in to do that. The Avid tutors, there's 4 tutors who are really good have good working relationships with the students and who come to our classes, so they kind of know what we expect and what we are asking the students to do. So they have their own classes. If a student is too embarrassed to ask help from me, maybe they can ask the help from the tutors. So all you have to do is sign in. Like I showed you, you click on that period, you log in after school. If you have problem that with that, email us. Email me, and then I'll make sure to log in. But again, so I just had the problem this week where I was waiting for a student. I waited like 50 minutes, and then after that, I signed out. And then after I signed out, the student couldn't log back in. So message me, and then I could try to log back in. Um, if the students is confused, another thing that I can't get really students to do is to look for notes on their own. All the tests that we have had for history, I let them use notes in the book. So it's like the notes are there. Let's say that I ask you what's 2 plus 2, and the answer is in the notes. Students don't go and look for it, even though it's there. And I wish I could, give them a printout. I know that it would be so much better if we had a notebook. But it would waste so much time if we write in a notebook every day. Um, we wouldn't have time to teach. So there we go. There are also some students who are struggling because they struggle. So for them, it's not for lack of trying. It's that these students need a little bit of extra help. So for those students, I already showed them all, I taught them, and I recorded a video for them on how to use a special Google extension that reads things for them and that writes things for them. I'm not going to talk more about that because that doesn't apply to every student, and I don't want the other students to use that extension. Okay. So then we get to the last problem, not trying, right? If your child doesn't try, that's the one thing that I can help them with. If they don't log in, I can't go into their bedroom and tell them, sit right here and pay attention. Um, if they don't come after school, I can't make them log in or talk to them. I wish I could. I could be like calling you, and then you have no excuse but to see my face, right? I wish I could, but that's not the way it works. The student has to log into the tutoring classroom, and then if we call the student and they don't respond, same thing. We can't reach across and do that. So this is the only thing that we as teachers can't do anything about. If your child is not willing to try, if your child is willing to try, right now, um work is my life right now, so just reach out and I will help them.